is Rachel Kloski, Cooking with Mrs. G. We're in the middle of March here in New England, 2021, and sadly, maple sugaring season has come to an early end. So, what next? Actually, there's quite a bit of trees out there that you can tap for syrup, not just maple trees. So once maple sugaring season is over, birch tapping begins. Now, birch sap is also extremely nutritious. Just like maple sap, it's loaded with vitamins and minerals and antioxidant qualities. And it's actually very well known and as birch water in Eastern Europe, and has been a staple drink during birch season in Eastern Europe for centuries. So how do you tap birch? Well, birch season is very, very short. It's usually only about a couple of weeks, and it starts right as maple sugaring season ends. So we're going to tap some birch in my yard today, and hopefully we've hit it at the beginning of birch season. I did tap a birch at my kids' school today, and the sap just came flowing right out. So we know we're in a really, really good spot for birch sap flow right now in Massachusetts. So when you tap a birch tree, it's very similar to tapping a maple tree, and we'll go over that. But some other trees that you can tap for syrup would be nut trees like the black walnut, which is native to New England as well. And so nut tree season is about now as well. So, you know, I used to get sad when maple sugaring season ended, but knowing that that also is signifying the beginning of tapping so many other types of trees, like fruit trees, birch, and nut trees, really the adventure is only beginning as far as tapping for syrup and for sap and syrup making and drinking raw. So here in front of my yard, I have white birch, the best birch to tap for birch syrup and birch sap. So to make sure that you have a white birch instead of an aspen tree, look closely at the bark and make sure that there are horizontal lenticels all up and down the bark, going horizontally. Another dead giveaway at this time of year is the birch tree catkins, which you can see are not furry. They're smooth, and these catkins are birch catkins. The catkins on an aspen tree are much fuzzier and then become furry on some of the species. So when we tap this tree, we're going to want to tap on the north side of the tree. And that's the opposite of tapping a sugar maple. We want to tap a sugar maple on the south side of the tree. But the reason why we want to tap on the north side of the tree is because we want to make sure that our sap doesn't spoil. Now, birch tree sap spoils very quickly because of the warmer temperatures of this time of year. It's much cooler when we tap for sugar maples. On the north side of the birch tree. And just like when I'm tapping sugar maples, I'm going to want to use a food safe bucket, and I have a lid. I've got food safe tubing and food safe spiles or spouts, or medical grade spiles or spouts. I'm going to go into the tree. I'm going to go only about a ½ inch to an inch instead of 1.5 inches to 2 inches like you do with sugar maples. You're going to want to go like less than an inch usually, depending on how thick the bark is. You don't want to tap a tree that's really thin, like this tree is too thin. I would like to, you know, do 6 to 8 inches or wider. And it is hard to find birch that it's that old, but the bigger the birch, the better, because you're not going to get much sap out of a small tree. And it's not as productive. Birch is not as productive as sugar maples when it comes to sap. So you're going to need to tap a lot of birch to get, you know, a good amount of syrup. And of course, in syrup making, you're going to need lots more birch sap than you would maple sap to get syrup. So we're talking like 200 gallons of sap to get a gallon of birch sap syrup. So that's why birch syrup is so expensive and it's hard to find in large quantities. Birch beer is made from fermented birch sap. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot of interesting things that you can make with birch sap and birch syrup. So let's go ahead. I'm gonna just go in, and just like when you're tapping a sugar maple, you're gonna tilt upward just a little bit. You're not gonna go straight in. You're tilting up just a little bit so that you can get the sap is already dripping out. And just like you can come over and get in close and take a look at that sap, just like sugar maple sap, it looks just like water dripping out. And when you collect it, it will look like water in your bucket. Now keep in mind that this will spoil on you on a really warm day, like a 60-degree day, so you want to make sure to collect this. You know, don't wait till it's been sitting in the bucket, because then you're going to get to your bucket and you're going to find yellow water. You want it to be clear and look exactly like water. Here I'm putting my spile in. Now, unlike sugar maples, you want to let your birch trees rest for a year or two in between tapping. So I tapped this birch tree this year. That means I won't tap it next year. I'll tap other ones instead. Now for a sugar maple, you can tap it year after year, just to make sure that you stay away from the previous year's hole, about 6 inches away from the previous year's hole, to give it a chance to heal up. So this is Rachel Golkowski, Cooking with Mrs. G. You can find me on YouTube and on Facebook and on Etsy and on Instagram. And I've got a couple of classes coming up. My one in May in Acton, Mass has sold out. I'm sorry, in April in Acton, Mass has sold out, but I have 2 in May in Sutton. And you can find those on Eventbrite. Happy foraging.